In the vast frozen expanse of the Arctic, where ice meets endless ocean, a territory the size of Mexico, but home to just 57,000 souls, has become the unlikely flashpoint of a transatlantic crisis. Greenland, autonomous under Denmark, rich in rare earth minerals, strategic shipping routes, and Cold War-era U.S. military bases, now stands at the center of one of the most extraordinary geopolitical standoffs of the 21st century. It began quietly in late 2025 during President Donald Trump's second term. Reviving an old obsession from his first presidency, Trump declared Greenland essential for American national security.
This is a very, very important moment for our country. We must act decisively to protect our borders and our people.
We need Greenland, he stated repeatedly, citing threats from Russia and China in the melting Arctic. But by early January 2026, the rhetoric turned sharper. The White House openly discussed a range of options to acquire the island, and explicitly noted that military force was always an option. The escalation came fast. Trump appointed a special envoy, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, who publicly said it would be an honor to help make Greenland part of the United States. Influential voices close to the administration, including Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, called it Washington's formal position. One viral post even showed the U.S. flag draped over a map of Greenland with the caption, "Soon." Denmark and Greenland pushed back hard. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen warned that any U.S. attack would spell the end of NATO. Greenland's leaders, including Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen, insisted their people wanted to remain Greenlanders, not Americans. Polls showed overwhelming rejection. 85% of Greenlanders opposed joining the U.S. Yet Trump doubled down. He threatened 10%, later 25%, tariffs on Denmark and other NATO allies like Norway, Sweden, Germany, and the UK, unless they ceded control. In a pointed message to Norway's Prime Minister, he linked his hardline stance to not winning the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, declaring he no longer felt obliged to think purely of peace. The world watched in disbelief. European leaders rallied in solidarity. NATO exercises intensified in Greenlandic waters, with Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, French, and German troops drilling side by side. Denmark reminded everyone, under royal decree and existing agreements, its small military presence in Greenland was mandated to resist any attack, even from an ally. Why Greenland? The island's value is undeniable. It hosts Pituffik Space Base, a critical node in U.S. missile warning systems. Melting ice opens new shipping lanes, shorter routes from Asia to Europe that could reshape global trade. Vast untapped minerals could reduce U.S. dependence on China, and strategically, it sits between North America and potential adversaries in the high north. But the crisis exposed deeper fractures. Trump's recent intervention in Venezuela, where U.S. forces seized former leader Nicolas Maduro, emboldened some in his circle to see hard ways as viable. Commentators asked, if Venezuela, why not Greenland? Would NATO's Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all, apply if the attacker was the United States itself? Danish officials warned it would destroy the alliance. Imagine the scene. U.S. troops landing on icy shores they've occupied since the Cold War, now facing Danish forces ordered to fire back. European NATO members forced to choose between defending an ally's territory or confronting the alliance's most powerful member. Russia watching from the sidelines, perhaps probing weaknesses. China quietly offering Greenland economic lifelines. Greenlanders themselves felt caught in the middle. Many crave full independence from Denmark someday, a right recognized since 2009. But joining the U.S.? That was never the plan. Protests filled Nuuk's snowy streets. One local leader called the U.S. pressure insulting, reducing their homeland to a bargaining chip. The fallout rippled globally. Stock markets jittered over tariff threats. European defense spending debates intensified. U.S. lawmakers, even some Republicans, introduced bills like the No Funds for NATO Invasion Act to block any such adventure. Former diplomats described the episode as damaging America's long-term credibility. By late January 2026, pressure mounted. At Davos, Trump reversed course somewhat, pledging no military force and suspending tariffs after claiming a framework deal with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. Negotiations continued, with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and others at the table. The crisis cooled, for now. Yet the questions linger. What happens when climate change unlocks the Arctic's resources and strategic lanes? When a superpower's leader sees territorial expansion as national security? And when alliances built on trust face the ultimate test, defending against one of their own? Greenland remains Danish, for the moment. Its people assert their voice amid superpowers. But in the frozen north, the ice is melting, the stakes are rising, and the world is watching. This is the Greenland crisis, a reminder that in geopolitics, even the coldest places can ignite the hottest conflicts.